It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. It is time to meet Press Pass Team 228. Tom Crawford, my longtime radio partner, Blue-Bellied Tom. Now my co-host on The Drive with Jack and Tom, the Team 92.1 FM, your home for We Are There Sports Radio. Tom, we're right back where we started.
Hey, we got through the first week. We're still speaking. Everything's great. And boy, some crazy stuff in college basketball yesterday.
We Are There Sports Radio, and you were in Ann Arbor yesterday.
I saw the worst display of free throw shooting I've ever seen in my entire life, and that includes the 5th grade level.
Don't get me into foul or defend, but at the end of the game, crazy. Amazing what can happen with that, but big win for the Wolverines.
Yeah, well, they'll take it. Survive and advance in this Big Ten competition.
Also want to welcome Darian Harris, 5-year MSU linebacker, co-captain of the 2015 Big Ten champions, graduate student, aspiring broadcaster, future AD, and member of the Ottawa Red Blacks. How are you, Darian?
Doing great, doing fantastic. It's been a great weekend so far. Yesterday we had the first, the inaugural edition of the Tawan Jones Special Athletes Club. So
fantastic.
We hosted that at Anchor Bay High School yesterday morning. Had a great turnout of kids. It was a perfect number of kids. We were able to get individual attention on each kid, and you have a successful camp when mothers and grandmothers leave crying. So they definitely enjoyed their time, and next Saturday will be the next camp. Next day for the camp, and also my first day coaching the Lansing 7-on-7 team.
How about that?
Up at Brighton at Legacy. So definitely looking forward to that as well.
I'm proud of Tawan, and you almost weren't here tonight. I thought, hey, you know what? 2 weeks ago, Minnesota gets this done, and you guys were all going to be heading to the Twin Cities to see Trey. It didn't work out that way.
No, it didn't, but things work out in mysterious ways. I mean, obviously, whether good, bad, or indifferent, we were hoping that Trey was able to make it. But, if you think about it, the camp date was already set.
Yeah.
So I don't think Tawan realized that he wasn't going to be able to go to the Super Bowl regardless, because he already had this camp, which, going to the Super Bowl is fun. Yeah. Hanging out with special needs kids, I think, is a little bit more important.
Also, want to welcome in Doug Warren. He is producer of The Drive with Jack and Tom and the Spartan Beat, and now a new title as far as Spotlight Radio Network.
Yeah, director of sports programming, so we'll see how good I am at all this stuff. Pressure's on.
We know you're pretty good as an NFL historian, and the NFL Hall of Fame class announced.
Yeah, it's a great class, but they don't have enough guys in. They only allow 5 modern candidates. I thought at least 7 of them were worthy of getting in, so there's a logjam still, and we'll see. But Randy Moss and Terrell Owens are in.
We'll be right back. Spartan Sparring up next. It was a Saturday of smiles for Michigan State at Michigan Stadium. A sea of white amid maize and blue. A team that laid it all on the line with ferocious hits and a steady hand. For 59 minutes and 50 seconds, then all hell broke loose. Cherish the memories of last October 17th and one of the greatest finishes in college football history. The Perfect 10 by Jack Ebling and Joe Rexrode. Go to 10perfectseconds.com before time runs out.
The Court Block on My 47.4 is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm. Get the Bernstein advantage today. 1-800-CALL-SAM.
From business to farms, Hastings Mutual will protect your best assets.
Hey, bring your family to Sundance 2018. Saving you a lot of money every day. Come see it. Look at these specials. Brand new Chevy Silverado, $199 down, $199 a month, $3,000 cash or trade, $136.
Look at this. Here's an 05 Dodge Magnum. That's only $4,900 at Sundance.
Here's a Chevy Camaro, wow, green, $255 down, $255 a month.
Here's an 08 Mazda Speed 3 hatchback, 6-speed Tran, $10,500 Sundance.
Good Horse Sense says, bring your family to Sundance. Save some money.
I loved growing up in Michigan. I know what it's like to run down to the lake every day in the summer. I love going biking, enjoy the beautiful scenery of Michigan and everything that Michigan has to offer outdoors, which is a lot.
Drinks at the pool are on these.
Now on from 7 to 8.
What makes a modern family? It's all relative.
Jay is the patriarch.
Do we kick and punch each other, or do we love each other?
Love each other.
That's right.
His wife is Gloria. She's Colombian, gorgeous, and loud.
How am I loud?
Jay's son Mitch is married to Cam, who's from Missouri. They are Lily's fathers.
What's going on with my hair today?
And each of them is
the gay uncle or gunkle.
To Haley, Alex, and Luke.
What's that?
It's a body spray called Sex Grenade.
That smell is driving me crazy.
Then it's working.
Their parents are Phil.
Whipped cream smile.
Okay, that's disgusting. Stop it.
And Claire, Mitchell's sister and Jay's daughter.
My stepdaughter. I'm older than you.
Which makes Gloria's son Manny Claire's kid's uncle, and makes Gloria
like my grandma. Easy, I have stopped closer relatives than you.
That leaves Joe.
Grab the dipstick.
Who's Jay's son and possibly his own grandfather.
I have to say, it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
It's all relative on Modern Family.
Modern Family, weeknights on Fox 47.
The following statement is something that I wish never had to be written. The gravity of the situation is so serious with so many lives affected that I and Spartans across the nation are in disbelief that this has occurred at our university. But it has, and I stand here with a level of resolve to commit all of my energy toward finding solutions. Our main concern will always be the survivors and doing everything possible for them. We owe it to them to fix the problems and to change the culture.
That is former Michigan Governor John Engler, 12 years, state of Michigan, and strong but polarizing figure. And he is the choice as the interim president at Michigan State University. Doug Warren, they say when you find yourself in a hole, it's always best to stop digging. Michigan State figure that out yet? Are they making things any better, or are they just making them worse?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Certainly, John Engler can get things done, as he did for 12 years as governor, and many years before that in the state legislature and the Senate. The problem that people have with this, aside from Engler's politics, is that Peter Secchia, the kingmaker and GOP kingmaker in West Michigan, those guys are joined at the hip with Universal Forest Products and those types of things. So people are wondering, is this the same good old boys network that got Michigan State into trouble in the first place?
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see if William Forsythe will be allowed to do a proper investigation and finally figure out what went wrong at Michigan State. So we'll have to wait and see, Jack.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have a lot of respect for Bill Forsythe.
Yeah.
Although he's tight with Secchia, though, too. So
everybody is there. So
yeah.
with Forsythe, as far as his prosecutorial history, he's been around as long as I can remember. I'm from West Michigan, so his record speaks for itself, and hopefully he'll be allowed to do a proper investigation.
Yeah, that's like saying Robert Mueller is a Republican. What does that really mean? You know, his Forsythe's reputation, I think, is beyond reproach. Tom, a lot of people look at John Engler and remember some of the things that happened in terms of education in the state of Michigan, unwilling to accept him, and there are others who said, we wouldn't have accepted Jennifer Granholm, we would not have accepted any politician at this point. Maybe Michigan State needs to go another direction. Maybe it will when this search is completed.
Well, yeah, when you heard Engler's comments, it sounded like a politician, what the politician says. It was just epitomized that. And, you know, I come from a higher education family. I mean, why don't you have somebody who's gone through the system as a provost and had a higher education background as opposed to a politician coming in? The whole thing is an absolute, it's the Keystone Cops out there. I mean, I'm appalled at what's happening going on at Michigan State right now. It's like a new news peg every day of somebody doing something wrong.
Yeah, and there's a lot of reaction now, people calling for the entire Board of Trustees to disappear, see what happens with that. Tom, we have a pretty good idea of the scope of Larry Nassar's carnage, but what's the level of devastation here for Michigan State University and for Mid-Michigan when you consider that Larry Nassar got 20.16% of the votes for the Holt School Board while he was in jail?
Right. That shows,
can't get past that.
Well, I know that's bugged you, but when you're doing that on election day, you're punching your regents. You don't even know who they are. I mean, there's so much indifference to regents, and I'll tell you what, boy. You know that when we had that student town hall meeting Thursday night was another thing that epitomized, you know, where they went in there, but they went out there out of that town meeting more frustrated than they went in there. So it's like something new every day. It's really disheartening to watch.
Connor Birdie, MSU student, hopped up on the table and gave an impassioned speech, and there you can see him.
Does that look like out of the 60s or something?
That's as close as we got to a sit-in. I knew all about those kinds of things.
Yeah, that's the stuff that Jack Ebling would do.
I thought he handled it very well. Some people didn't like it. That was disrespecting authority. I think at this point that's out the window. And I thought the response was very good on all parties. And then Friday in Eaton County Circuit Court, we had another incident. And Randall Margraves decides he's going to take things into his own hands.
Look at this.
And he's going to go after Larry Nassar.
Right.
And then we saw a tweet, Darian, from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson saying that Nassar will be well taken care of in prison. And I assume he's not talking about the quality of the food.
No, definitely not. But if you're getting tweets from The Rock out of this, obviously that just shows the amount of national attention that this story has picked up on in all facets of it. I mean, it has grown exponentially. And as I said, I mean, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is I mean, he might be one of the top 5 biggest stars in the entire world right now. And he's commenting on this, so that speaks volumes.
Tom, well, we talked about you can't do something like that, and the horrified look on our Graves' daughter, Margrave's daughter, I think, showed that. But there are an awful lot of dads who would like to have exacted their own degree of punishment on this. That's not going to be allowed, but somebody else will probably take care of that. We'll be right back talking basketball up next.
Now, Marge, your eyes must stay completely covered for 2 full weeks.
Don't worry, honey. I'll be your seeing eye Homer. We're in some kind of doctor room, bunch of stuff on the walls. It's kind of hard to describe. I'm going to take my break now.
Homie, I haven't held Maggie all day. Can you hand her to me?
No problem, sweetie.
Ooh, Mommy's little baby is getting big and chubby. Who's a chubby baby? But that doesn't mean that you can't have a little dinner. You're not usually this greedy.
Cool it, she's getting suspicious.
You call it, I'm hungry.
Good night, Bart. I'll be right in, Lisa. Good night, Lisa. Good night. Ooh, jazz. Keep going and I'll scat. Skate bitter bip pop boo.
Simpsons, weeknights at 11 on Fox 47.
It's definitely a very interesting pace to forecast the weather. Love being here, love being in Lansing.
The chemo dosages she uses are really high. There's something else going on.
The Resident is the new medical drama to get obsessed with.
Don't sabotage a career that's just beginning.
I'm gonna take care of this. The Resident, all new, Monday at 9 on Fox.
With the David Chapman Agency, auto owners' insurance policies come with something extra. Local agents who care about you. Our agents will help you find the right coverage at the best price. 3 generations serving you at the David Chapman Agency, your local auto owners' insurance agents.
The Knapp Center is a historical hub for future business growth in beautiful downtown Lansing.
The Ide Company did the best they could to preserve the integrity of the history of this building while incorporating a modern open workspace.
They have been prompt, they have been efficient, and they really are a friendly, great group of people that we don't have any concerns about calling them for any of our needs.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the Ide Company family.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for a Going Green segment brought to you by Graf Chevrolet. A trusted friend with 104 years in the automobile business. Stop and see Matt, Mark, and Greg on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you as they have on all 6 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf. Here you see Miles Bridges makes the move to the hole. Thunder jam. And he had a nonsensical foul last night at Indiana. Nearly cost his team. But here's Tom Izzo.
I don't know why we got off to such a poor start. We've done that a couple games now. I think that falls on me. Coach's job is to get his team ready to play, and what we're confused about is the players actually have practiced harder than they play in the opening 10 minutes, which doesn't make any sense. All in all, when you get a Big Ten win, and don't kid yourself, that is a good Penn State team. You know, they had some losses early because Reeves didn't play. He missed 4 of his first, I think, 6 games or something. He's been a difference. He's the reason I thought they beat Ohio State. And the other guy that's really playing good is Carr. You know, he hit those big shots at the end, but we held him to 9 for 24. Our defense and our rebounding was pretty good. And the other area that I think we've been excelling in is our free throw shooting, and that's been great.
That's Tom Izzo Wednesday night after the win over Penn State. Talking about Tony Carr, who had 28 points.
Good player.
And was fantastic, but didn't play well in the first half against Maryland. Came back and scored 50. Didn't play well in the first half against Penn State. Found themselves down by 12. Came back with a 52-point second half. Last night at Indiana, Darian, Michigan State played okay. The start of the game. Certainly played great defense, rim protection, but couldn't get a rebound. And then at the end of the game, they let Indiana back in it. What is going on with this team?
It's just about finding identity, finding a rhythm, and understanding how to play 2 halves. I mean, luckily they have probably the most talent in the entire country. I think a lot of people are realizing that. A lot of people are speculating that that's the reason that they're going to be in the Final Four and still can compete for a national championship. But it's just about being able to put 2 halves together. You know, whether, like you said, it's the starting off slow, finishing strong, or starting off strong, finishing slow. You got to be able to put 2 halves together. But as we've seen, the Big Ten is always going to be competitive. It's always going to be tough playing on the road. We also saw yesterday, Purdue struggle a little bit with Rutgers.
Yeah.
And so, if you take the Rutgers games against MSU, now that kind of puts those a little more in perspective with Purdue struggling a little bit. The Big Ten's always going to be competitive. Getting a win on the road, it's nothing to hang your head about. A win is a win. They all count one. That's what Coach D'Antonio always says. I'm sure
Spoken like a coach. Nice
sure
cliches.
Coach Izzo has that same philosophy. And the other big Coach D quote is never apologize for a win. So I don't think they're going to apologize for this one either.
Cassius Winston had made 42 out of 43 free throws. Steps to the line, 3 seconds to go, up 3. Just makes 1. This is over. I think it were less than 3 seconds to go, actually.
Yeah.
And, of course, he misses them both. And the last shot hits the back of the bracket. Could have been one of the all-time comebacks. When you look at this team and where it is, Doug, Indiana nearly got Duke in Assembly Hall. Nearly got Purdue. That one was down to the wire. But Michigan State still can get better. It's not getting to where it needs to be yet.
No, and they're not where they need to be on the perimeter defensively. And yesterday, 25 offensive rebounds they gave up to Indiana. I mean, it's just unbelievable. They only have 3 offensive rebounds, and this is a team that's supposed to dominate up front. They have depth and everything else. They're blocking shots, and they're playing pretty good defense on the front line, but the perimeter defense has been a question for me all year, and I think that's the one thing that will catch them in the tournament if they get a bad matchup.
They are the #1 team in the country defending the 2.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were #1 in assists, #1 in block shots. Their statistics, Tom, are off the charts, but hasn't necessarily lent itself to the outcome when you look at Michigan State. Hasn't played Purdue yet.
Right.
Played Michigan, lost. Played Ohio State, lost. So a lot of work to do.
Well, McQuaid is the best defender on the perimeter. He's got to keep delivering, and that they need people like that to step up, and I think they're going to be fine. I think there's some major distractions going on in that program. So,
be very interesting to see what happens with the Purdue Boilermakers coming in next Saturday. Been waiting for that one for a while. We'll be back with Michigan Hoops up next.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoyed giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
We are the selling team.
We are here when you need us.
We work harder for you.
We follow up.
We get your home sold.
We are the selling team with Keller Williams Realty. Beyond real estate, real family.
Love is in the air. One lucky winner gets a $100 gift certificate from Whipped Bakery. Go to fox47news.com and click on Valentine's to enter.
Horsing around, Sundance, St. John's Savings, Buicks and GMCs. Come see us.
They're your stories. Tell us how you say yes to Mid-Michigan.
Music is that universal language that has the power to connect us. No matter how diverse our backgrounds, we can still come together and connect with music. Music sings to us as a group, but yet it speaks to each of us individually. Bounce TV Mid-Michigan salutes all local musicians and artists who help in connecting our community. And here's a salute to you, our community, with special music for Black History Month. We say yes to the arts, we say yes to music, we say yes to community, we say yes to Black history, we say yes. Bounce TV Mid-Michigan.
Hello, can you hear me? I can't find Lucius. Is this the day when monsters hide?
We stick together. We survive.
I wanted to wait.
My name is Lucius Lyon.
I will slit her throat.
No!
Your DNA. He belongs to me.
Empire returns March 28th on Fox.
I never thought we'd be coming in here and we'd be talking about a win again, right? After the way that we shot foul shots, the way we settled in the first half, and it's and the energy that we saw some of our guys. So thank goodness in the second half we were able to attack a little bit more. We still didn't make foul shots, but we found a way to win. We missed both foul shots, and then just completely blew a switch that we just talked about. But there's some guys that are still learning, and we got to continue. That's my job, to help them to get better at those situations.
That is Michigan head coach John Beilein. And Tom Crawford, you were in Chrysler Center for the Wolverines' wins Monday over Northwestern.
Right.
And yesterday, against Minnesota, and didn't think that one was going to go to overtime. As well as Michigan can play at times, still some nagging problems. Is this team getting better?
No, not really. I mean, it's up and down. They start so slow. And when Beilein walked in yesterday in the press room, he just looked like he was wilted. I mean, this team is draining him right now. I told you and Brendan Quinn on Friday, I said the demise of this team is going to be free throws. Yeah. And what happened? Yeah. 12 of 28. Think about that for a second. Wow. Some of those were front ends of 1-and-1s. And you just opened the door, and but they defended well. And that's something Michigan, and they rebounded well. They out-rebounded by Minnesota by 9, 39-30.
They out-rebounded Purdue. They played well on the board.
They're doing very un-Michigan-like things, like they're not shooting well, they're not shooting free throws well, and they're rebounding well, and they're defending well. I mean, it's just like...
It's also the anti-Michigan.
Yeah, they're doing the anti-Michigan. Right? But like I said, they got to get to 12 wins, I think, is a goal, realistic goal. And there's a lot of potholes in that schedule. They got to go to Northwestern Tuesday. They got to go to Wisconsin. Got Ohio State at home. The only sure bet win is Iowa at home. You look at the schedule right there on the 14th, and then look at that. Look how the Wolverines end the schedule: at Penn State, at Maryland. So that was a crucial win on Saturday over Minnesota. Even though that's a 3-win team in conference play, that was survive and advance.
Probably the most disappointing team in the Big Ten.
Without question, they played hard though.
Darian, you watch an awful lot of NBA basketball, and you have seen the foul or defend situation come up so many times. And Michigan was up 5, and then they're up 3. And next thing you know, here's Nate Mason, and We got overtime, and it took Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman with the three-point play late in the
Conventional
overtime.
three-point, yeah.
But why can't coaches get the hang of this? This is pretty simple math.
I think it's pretty simple math as well. Sometimes coaches overthink things. Sometimes coaches look at analytics and things like that and start weighing percentages on what to do. And maybe certain situations are different. Maybe sometimes you should take the foul and then hope they miss the front end of a one-on-one or one-on-one, or don't necessarily trust who's going to eventually be on the free throw line. But and then on the other hands, just play defense. Just straight up play defense. So I think it kind of can vary sometimes. But I think that so much is put into analytics. I mean, you talk about the NBA, you think about Van Gundy and Barkley, guys that don't necessarily like analytics. These are reasons.
I'm not buying the defend argument. Never have, never will.
Well, you might want to defend.
Simple math.
I mean, they didn't even guard Nate Mason.
They knew either one. Foul or defend, right?
They didn't
either or. You do neither, you're in trouble.
They let him open, man. There was 5 feet of separation there. He had a great look, Jack.
Doug, when you think about Northwestern and Michigan, this is this Big Ten schedule that's been so maddening all year, with Michigan State playing once, Indiana, Purdue playing once, and now you've got these teams playing twice in a week. Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I don't know what they're thinking. We've talked about it, having the Big Ten tournament in New York a week early. It makes no sense. So maybe they'll get this thing fixed. But yeah, can Michigan win 4 games down the stretch? I think they can. I think they could beat Northwestern. I think they certainly could beat Iowa. Having Ohio State at home will help with regard to having that home crowd and that rivalry there. And then can they beat Penn State on the road? Probably. So I think the troubling games will be at Wisconsin, which is always a tough place to play.
Wisconsin's
and then
so bad.
I know they're bad.
I think
they're bad,
toughest
but it's
games.
one of those road
Maryland
games.
and Penn State.
I think those last 2 road games.
Yeah, that could
Penn
be.
State and Maryland. Those
Yeah,
are,
that's
what it's like
tough.
with Maryland.
I mean, Penn State's good. Look what Penn State did at Breslin Center. They were competitive.
And they smashed Iowa.
Yeah.
So, but maybe that's not
the Big Ten's better than
lot.
I think people say it is. The teams are not that bad.
Darian, what has to happen for Michigan to become more than a cute little story and a team that can repeat as Big Ten tournament champion and really make some noise in the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think they have to get back to playing what Michigan basketball is.
To make a free throw, too,
That's
right?
it. You got to make free throws and you got to shoot the ball. That's how they were able to beat Michigan State in the game earlier this season, was just making shots. That's what Michigan has been the last few years, really the last, and since Beilein has got there. It's always about shooting the ball, making shots, something that's a little bit different than what you would see in a college game. So if they can get back to doing that, they can find a way in the tournament and make a little bit of noise.
Doug, as you say, looking at the schedule, if they can go 4-2 the rest of the way, be 12-6.
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
pretty good.
Yeah, and if they're defending and rebounding like they are the rest of the year, that'll be even better if they start shooting well.
All right, we will be back in just a minute, and we're going to talk about the Detroit Pistons, the big picture. Blake Griffin, up next.
We are so smart. Why didn't girls like us in high school? Because we were awkward and weird and couldn't play sports. Right again.
I've been cooped up in here too long. Maybe I need some fresh air.
How about this? He's a poor man's Sheldon Cooper.
Oh, Tesla.
Here we are, building our own multi-wire detector like a couple of badasses.
I know, if we were still single, we'd be tripping over all that booty.
Sheldon? Sheldon? Sheldon?
It's a back-to-back Big Bang Bonanza, now starting at 7, here on Fox 47.
If I go down, so will you.
You still think you know what I will and won't do?
I'll be coming for you.
You have no idea what's really going on.
Ivy?
I'm going to make miracles happen.
Gotham returns Thursday, March 1st on Fox.
Now we're talking.
They're your stories. Tell us how you say yes to Mid-Michigan.
Welcome to Russell and Schrader Insurance. Hastings Mutual is a trusted partner of ours. Call Joe Daly for a Hastings Mutual insurance quote. They're hard to beat. Call Steve Keisch today. From business to farms, Hastings Mutual will protect your best assets.
Sometimes you need room to grow. Other times, you need a bit more. Greenstone Farm Credit Services can help. We specialize in financing land to build on and country homes too. Greenstone Farm Credit Services will lend you room to grow.
Working with the IDE company, 1, is very easy to do. 2, they're very responsive to our needs. And 3, as we've grown as a company, they've listened to those needs and they've helped us plan out our future in terms of growth that needs to be done at this location.
It's just comforting to know I'm working with the IDE company, knowing that they can accommodate our growth. In that way, they're an excellent partner.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the IDE Company family.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago. Doug Warren and I took a Dean luxury cruiser to Chicago, joined 27 pro football greats and more than 100 supporters of the Shinsky Orphanage in Matamoros, not far from landfall for Hurricane Harvey.
How did you feel out there? Oh!
The lane goes. Blake Griffin off the glass and good. There's his first hoop.
There you see, I love Matt Shepard at that time, just standing there, and all of a sudden he sees it coming, and no, I can't do anything about it.
But he took it like a Marine, you know?
It was water, it wasn't Gatorade, so the suit is still okay. Darian, big trade, one of the biggest the Pistons have ever made. Did they do the right thing? Did they have any choice but to try to get a star? Traded 2 starters, a popular backup, 2 draft picks, for Blake Griffin and spare change.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation. You know, it's hard to say whether they did the right thing or not because, you know, what they got back obviously is an all-star caliber player. You know, at one point we thought Blake Griffin was going to be once-in-a-generation type player. Injuries kicked in, things like that.
5-time All-Star.
But he is a 5-time All-Star. Could have been an All-Star again this year. He's playing like one. You know, there's only so many spots on the team. You know, kind of like what Doug said about the NFL Hall of Fame. I think they should expand NBA All-Star rosters, but that's a different story for another day. But you get a player that comes back on your team that makes a splash, that can fill seats. He's obviously playing well. They're winning games. So right now it looks great. The question is going to be down the road with that contract he has, which is out of this world right now. Can you bring somebody else in? Can you get some more pieces in? Can you create a team that can actually compete in the East against the likes of the Cavaliers and the Celtics? And if for that to happen, I'm not so sure that with that contract, with Drummond's contract, that they can make that happen.
Everyone's talking about the 2 wins with Blake. I thought the most interesting result of the week was while they're waiting for all their players to get there, they beat Cleveland. I didn't quite understand that one, but Doug Warren, was this something the Pistons had to do, or was it a desperation move by Stan Van Gundy, team president and head coach, knowing that something didn't work, they don't make the playoffs, he might not be around for 2018-19?
I mean, I think we could say it was kind of both, but they need a star power. The Pistons don't have a star, and bringing him in, Blake Griffin, now they have a star, and you team him up with Andre Drummond, that's a pretty formidable 1-2 matchup at the 4 and the 5 spot, but the question is, who's going to be their guard? Is it going to be Ish Smith? Will they deal Reggie Jackson before the trade deadline next week?
Is someone to take him?
Well, if you can find somebody to take him, it could be addition by subtraction. And this is still a building process. And if they can make the playoffs this year, fine. But they need to get better on the perimeter before the Pistons are able to contend, even in the East, let alone deal with the West.
Stanley Johnson came out of nowhere, had a good game. Luke Kennard's had some moments. So they have some guys. But now, I would think, Darian, that if you look at Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, that's the second best big man tandem in the league. If you talk about Anthony Davis and a healthy Boogie Cousins, maybe.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's definitely second best. And like you said, healthy being the key word. Boogie's out right now for the rest of the year. So you're looking at the best front court in the entire association with Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, and they're playing like it. You know, and in their last game, Andre Drummond had a 20-24 game. First time that's happened, I believe they said, since Hakeem the Dream did it. So he's obviously been resurged. And you just look at the team, the way they've responded. They've automatically kind of dubbed Blake Griffin as the leader of the team, which is interesting to see. They follow him around. They know he's the star, and it just seems like it'd be a new energy. And as we said, I mean, you know, we know LCA is such a great arena, but the seats weren't being filled.
No.
I believe we're going to see that progress, and especially when we get to the playoffs, they're going to be able to pack that arena.
Well, they were filled Thursday night.
Yeah. And Tom, you were with us at Little Caesars Arena for the Hitachi college basketball doubleheader. And so you know that the place can be lively.
Oh, it's a great facility.
It was so flat with the Pistons, there was no reason to go. Now, first time I've had anyone ask me, like, when are the Pistons home? Who do they play?
Yeah, well, it's like Doug said, they haven't had that. So I think Isaiah Thomas, you got to go back to get that caliber of star power that people will come because they want to say they saw Isaiah Thomas play.
Right.
And Blake is in that category. And Andre Drummond, his morale is up. He's all fired up. You can see it in his body language. That's going to be a terrific tandem.
One person who really seemed to like the trade the other night, Pistons owner Tom Gores. He was feeling no pain, Tom.
Yeah, and I think now is not the time. I mean, everybody needs to look about their own personal brand right now and looking like a good citizen with all what's going on in the world right now. That was embarrassing. The way
I thought maybe he bought a distillery just before the game.
He had a few pops, let's say. And for the owner of the team, I don't know.
Come on, man, he's a billionaire. He wants everything.
I know. I'm a conservative guy, Doug.
I'll see Martha Ford
look
do
like
that.
an owner,
Come on,
you know?
Man. Live
Come
it
on.
It's all right.
So the Pistons make the playoffs, Doug, yes or no?
Yeah, I think they can.
Jerry, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer now that they make the playoffs.
They will, yeah. Will they go anywhere?
Well, you know what? If a team can get up to 6 and play the Cavaliers, as dysfunctional as they are, I know how great LeBron James is, but right now...
Cavaliers are phoning it in, Jack.
We will be right back. We're going to talk pro football, the Detroit Lions, after another Super Bowl that they watched on television. It was a Saturday of smiles for Michigan State at Michigan Stadium. A sea of white amid maize and blue. A team that laid it all on the line with ferocious hits and a steady hand. For 59 minutes and 50 seconds, then all hell broke loose. Cherish the memories of last October 17th and one of the greatest finishes in college football history. Perfect 10 by Jack Ebling and Joe Rexrode. Go to 10perfectseconds.com before time runs out.
I've lost 2 homes in my lifetime. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
Holton Dimedale Insurance Agency, your hometown team. Come see us today.
It's Sign and Drive at Team 1 in Charlotte. Come in, sign your name, drive off in your new car. That's right, at Team 1, your first payment is literally just your signature. Only at Team 1, the only one with Sign and Drive. Team1Charlotte.com.
It's definitely a very interesting pace to forecast the weather. We love being here, love being in Lansing.
And here comes Bobby Moore, leading the team down. Dempsey captains the U.S. today.
Now Charlton, Bobby Charlton.
Neymar, brilliant. Beckenbauer, Eusebio, and it's Messi. Oh, beautiful dummy from Cruyff. Ronaldinho, incredible. Marquez really late. Cristiano Ronaldo magnificently done. Maradona, skip past. That's a great run by Michael Owen. Zinedine Zidane, what has he done? Suarez. Oh, it's a red card for David Beckham. Can you believe it? Landon Donovan. Del Piero. Roger Miller. Mario Götze. Iniesta. Cannavaro. England have won it all. Brazil. Germany lifts the World Cup.
I love Valentine's Day. You're just too good. It's the only day of the year that we can allow ourselves to be in love.
We got a noise complaint. Mind if I come in?
Got
I hate Valentine's Day. If you have someone to share it with, it could be pretty great.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road. Your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. I'm talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week. There you see Detroit Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford. He's been the highest paid player in pro football, and he's been maybe not a top tier quarterback, but a really good one for the Lions, and much better than the average. He's also been watching a lot of Super Bowls on television. And once again, this year, Doug Warren, he was not there to play in the game, and we know the Detroit Lions haven't been in a game of this consequence since 1957.
Right.
First football game that I saw. Darian, a lot of our viewers just watched the New England Patriots chase championship number 6, and the Philadelphia Eagles show that you can be at the bottom and you can come up very quickly. All right, don't laugh. Just tell me how the Lions can get to a Super Bowl in my lifetime unless I plan to live to 120.
Well, I believe it starts with building through the draft, then creating an identity with your team, and just doing the right things. Doing the right things. I mean, I know that sounds kind of simple, kind of cliche, but, I think the NFC is a little different. But if you look at the AFC, if you look at the last however many years, how many, it's always based on quarterbacks. So how many quarterbacks really have made it? Obviously, it's Brady, it's Manning, it's Flacco, it's Roethlisberger. That's 4. I mean, that's four quarterbacks, which means that's 5 teams since Peyton Manning played for 2. Russell Wilson in the NFC. So, but I'm just talking about one conference with the AFC. So it shows that what we take for granted is the greatness of Brady or Manning getting there, or even Ben Roethlisberger getting there. It's very difficult to do. There's a lot of guys that don't make it. There's a lot of teams that don't make it. But like I said, it starts with starting with building through the draft, creating an identity, and just doing the right things consistently through the entire year.
Doug Warren, you know as much as anyone in mid-Michigan about the Lions' long history of ineptitude. I talked to someone on the inside Friday and said, you're going to get your heart broken by Bob Quinn. He's not nearly as sharp as people think he is. We shall see. But if you look at where Quinn and Matt Patricia can take this team, are they going to be heroes for all time in the city of Detroit, or just 2 more bodies on the bonfire?
Well, we got to wait and see. I mean, the thing is,
we don't do that in this society. It's pronounced before anything.
If you're a Lions fan, you wait and see.
Yeah, you got to wait and see. We've been waiting 61 years, right?
We haven't been
a little
seeing
longer, right? No, I haven't been seeing just nothing but futility. But why not give it a shot? They've tried all kinds of other things, but they finally, go into the New England well again and
Gary
see
Moeller,
if it's
that's
I don't know why people think Bob Quinn's not going to be good. I think the drafts have been
parade of head coaches.
Larry Ucci, Dick Duran was there for a cup of coffee as a fill-in. That guy, he stinks.
It's amazing.
Jim Schwartz, good coordinator, not so good head coach.
He's in Super Bowl tonight, but wrong team.
Why don't they have a reunion? They all come back and have a big
Caldwell.
party.
Yeah, that'd be a party, all right.
Yeah.
No, but you got to give them a chance. They have a quarterback. They got the quarterback for the first time in 5 decades, so let's see what happens after that.
I think it's as dumb to say that the Lions now, because they got Patriots, right? That's what they need. They just need Patriots. Get Patriot janitors, get everything. That's as dumb as saying that they can never make it because of what happened in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Some of these guys weren't born.
They've invested in the scouting. The one thing Quinn has done that kind of gets underreported is that he fired a bunch of the bum scouts they had, hired some new people, and they've invested more money. And Rod Wood has been part of that too. So
takes time, right?
Yeah, it takes time. You don't build Rome in a day.
Tom, in the 2000 NFL draft, the Lions took offensive tackle Stocker McDougal from Oklahoma, number 20 in round 1. Linebacker Barrett Green from West Virginia, number 50 in round 2. Running back Reuben Drones from Oregon, number 81 in round 3. Safety Todd Franz, number 145 in round 5. And defensive end Quinn Reese, number 181 in round 6. All before the Pats picked Tom Brady with selection 199. If Detroit had taken who was then a job-sharing college quarterback with one of the worst physiques in combine history, whose future would have changed more, the Lions or Tom Brady's?
Well worded there, Jack. You worked on that little dialogue there. Yeah, Tom Brady with his love handles. He had no cuts in his lats. He was terrible looking. Yeah, Tom Brady, if he had been with the Lions, I mean,
Who said Tom who?
Yeah, exactly. I don't even think. I mean, the organization of the Patriots is so good. Tom Brady is a very difficult guy to coach. You listen to what Bill Bryan said this week. He's a very demanding guy. He always wants to go to meetings. Yeah. He wears down coaches because he's so competitive. He would probably wore the Lions staff crazy, just because he wants to win. And they're not used to that maybe in that organization.
Remember Robert Smith from Michigan State? He was picked 197. 2 spots before Tom Brady.
God,
you can always talk about that one.
A lot of potential.
He had a pretty good career in the league.
Yeah,
he wasn't quite Tom Brady. We will be back, and we'll have our Take It to the Bank segment, and we'll talk about pro football and what we can guarantee, what we can bank on moving forward. We'll be right back here on Press Pass.
Go Green! Don's Fleet Services on Eaton Rapids Road has been serving the Lansing area for over 20 years. Call Don's for all of your automotive needs, from regular maintenance to full repairs.
Don's Fleet Services. Go Green!
The Student Bookstore is your Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
You work hard for your money and you deserve to keep it. Why pay $199 to jumpstart your insurance for 7 days when you can start a 6-month policy for less? 30 days with Stop Point Insurance costs less than 7 days with them. Everyone approved, no matter your driving history. Guaranteed. Call today, save today.
She is a force of nature and natural truth seeker. Judge Judy.
What makes a modern family? It's all relative. Jay is the patriarch.
Do we kick and punch each other, or do we love each other?
Love each other.
That's right.
His wife is Gloria. She's Colombian, gorgeous, and loud.
How am I loud?
Jay's son Mitch is married to Cam, who's from Missouri. They are Lily's fathers.
What's going on with my hair today?
And each of them is...
the gay uncle. Or gunkle.
To Haley, Alex, and Luke.
What's that?
It's a body spray called Sex Grenade.
That smell is driving me crazy.
Then it's working.
Their parents are Phil.
Whipped cream smile.
Okay, that's disgusting. Stop it.
And Claire, Mitchell's sister and Jay's daughter.
My stepdaughter.
I'm older than you.
Which makes Gloria's son Manny Claire's kid's uncle, and makes Gloria...
like my grandma.
Easy, I have stabbed closer relatives than you.
That leaves Joe.
Grab the dipstick.
Who's Jay's son and possibly his own grandfather.
I have to say, it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
It's all relative on Modern Family.
Modern Family, weeknights on Fox 47. Terry's Jewelry and Gifts, along with Whipped Bakery, present Fox 47's Love is in the Air, your ultimate Valentine's Day contest. One lucky winner gets a prize pack worth $300, including a $100 gift certificate from Terry's Jewelry and Gifts. Don't pay mall prices this Valentine's Day. Whipped Bakery, decadent desserts for all occasions. Just go to fox47news.com and click on Valentine's to enter.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment. Brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton, South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most. All right, gentlemen, at Team 228, time for our predictions and guarantees. Talking about Matt Patricia moving forward. Tom Crawford, what can you guarantee with the Lions now that they have Patriots defensive coordinator running the show?
Well, I guarantee the Lions will have a much better defense because of his influence, his emphasis. I guarantee you that they will win a playoff game under his regime. And I guarantee you they will not get to the Super Bowl because that doesn't happen in that franchise. It's not going to happen in my lifetime.
Still think he looks like Charlie Simmerly, right?
He does look like Charlie
a little
Simmerly,
bit, right?
And if I say they won't ever win a Super Bowl, maybe they will because whatever I predict, usually the opposite happens. So this is all strategic as I take it to the bank.
Darian Harris, what can we bank on with Matt Patricia next year and beyond?
I say next year, I believe they will make the playoffs, and I mean you got to start the bar at a certain height. You can't, keep going so far because when you set these expectations, that's how you get disappointed. But I will go ahead and
they made the playoffs in the last 2 even-numbered years, right?
Yeah.
And did they do that 2014 and 16?
Yes.
And they lost.
And lost.
So here we go. So then I guess in the next 4 years they'll make an NFC title game under Matt Patricia.
Really?
NFC title game.
Whoa!
I'd take that.
Okay.
I'd take it.
Tom, we have 1-point predictions, 2-point predictions, 3-point predictions. That might be our first 4-point prediction moving forward.
It's a 3-ball and an and one. 3-ball and one. He got fouled on it.
Wow. And why are you so sure of this?
I just believe that what they have in place is a team that's ready to compete. They just needed the right leadership. They needed the right push. That's what it's about. And it's going to be another couple drafts. Like I said, building through the draft, putting the right pieces together. They have the quarterback. Don't lose that. Continue to build around that. Find a running game, and you're off and running.
So 2021 season, is Matthew Stafford still the quarterback?
Yeah, he'll be the quarterback. I mean, what is he, 30?
We'll let make him.
What's that?
How old will he be then? 31?
I don't know, 34, 35. I mean, guys play till their late 30s now. No,
hey, Brady wants to play till he's 76.
He's in the category
sure.
by himself.
Yeah. All right.
He's good. I like him.
Doug, what can you bank on with the Detroit Lions besides a long history of futility?
Well, I like what Darian said. I was going to say that they'll win the NFC North and a playoff game in the next 3 years. So if in year 4 they make it to the Super Bowl, being the NFC champions, that'd be great. I think they've been drafting a lot better the last couple of years than people think.
Yeah.
They got depth now, and their scouting's better, and we'll just see if the coaching's there too. And if that's the case, then I think the Lions will finally be contenders, at least to the level they were in the 90s, where they weren't a laughing stock.
You think Quinn will do the job?
I think he has been. I don't know what people are so, Carlos Monarez and other people.
It wasn't his fault that Taylor Decker was injured, right?
No, they didn't have starters on the offensive line, the penciled-in starters at the start of the season until like week 13. I mean, you're not going to win when you have that kind of injuries on the offensive line.
All right, I have 2 guarantees with this. First one is, first time the Lions win back-to-back games, people say, yeah, that's what they needed. See what happens when you get the Patriots in there, and this is going to be New England West. And everyone's going to get all excited for no reason.
They always do that.
And then when they start to lose a couple games, they get on a little skid, everyone's going to say, same old Lions. They'll never win. They've never won. I don't care about 1957. I don't want to hear about it. It's going to be overreaction both ways. That's what usually happens. We will be back in just a minute, and we're going to have our Cool and Smooth segment brought to you by Culver's, and we have a lot of weekly awards. We're going to have our Play of the Week, we're going to have our Game of the Week, Team of the Week, and Player of the Week, a guy I never thought we'd be talking about. We'll be right back on Press Pass.
Thanks to our new GPS, I'll have you at school in no time.
Turn right in 50 meters.
Oh, meters?
Dad, a meter is 3 inches longer than a yard, which is 36 inches. So, 50 divided by 39 times 36 equals...
You have missed your turn. Recalculating. Turn right in 0.5 meters.
Dad, no! That takes us into a construction site!
Turn left. Turn right. Turn left. Turn right. Decrease elevation 10 feet, then turn left.
Go!
You have reached your destination.
Thanks for the ride, Dad!
Turn right, amateur.
Simpsons, weeknights at 11 on Fox 47.
I am a really good kid, probably on level 10.
March 2nd, MasterChef Junior returns.
with a familiar face.
Are you kidding me right now, Gordon Ramsay?
It's a fierce competition.
Look at me. Move quicker.
Put some elbow grease into it.
So no kidding around.
The bar is set really high.
I need a hug.
MasterChef Junior premieres Friday, March 2nd.
It's gonna be mwah.
On Fox.
It's all relative on Modern Family Nightly.
It's Modern Family, weeknights at 6:30.
Sometimes you need room to grow, and other times you need, well, a bit more. Greenstone Farm Credit Services can help. We specialize in financing land to build on, home construction projects, outdoor acres for play, or even that perfect house in the country. From families to farmers, Greenstone serves our community. And with 31 Michigan locations, we're just a short drive away. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com. Greenstone Farm Credit Services will lend you room to grow.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by the 4 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious Butterburgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious. All right, Team 228, time for our weekly awards. Who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Darian Harris, let's start with you in our play of the week.
Play of the week's been one of the easiest picks I've ever had to make. Thursday night, our own Spartan dog, Gary Harris, knocked down a big three-pointer at the buzzer to take down the Oklahoma City Thunder after Paul George had knocked in his shot with about 1.3 seconds left, thought it was over. Nobody talks about the pass on that. That was an excellent pass, I believe, by Jokic to get it over all the way across the court, hit Gary in stride coming off essentially that screen, opening up on the right wing. Russell Westbrook seemed to get lost, knocked it down, cold-blooded, ice in his veins. I know who's didn't have the play of the week was the fan that got on the court and got in Russ's face after the game. He was really, especially with knowing how fiery of a guy Russ is, I thought Russell Westbrook handled that perfectly.
No punishment.
No punishment. Thought he handled it absolutely perfectly. I thought he did a really good job with that. NBA needs to do something about that. Security didn't move fast enough.
Here we are on Super Bowl Sunday, and I knew that Darian would have a basketball play of the week. I thought it would be Gary. I said maybe he's going to go with Stan Van Gundy in the trade, but we knew it would be basketball. Doug Warren, what about our game of the week?
Game of the week, St. John snaps an 11-game losing streak and upsets 4th-ranked Duke 81-77. The Duke Blue Devils had 18 turnovers, and now Marvin Clark, who transferred, of course, from Michigan State to St. John's, has as many wins against Duke as Tom Izzo. So that's game of the week. Good job for St. John's.
Very good.
What were the odds that we would have in the span of about 20 minutes Kansas losing again in Allen Fieldhouse?
Not a vintage Kansas
team. Several years. Yeah, people there are down on Bill Self. Right. And then you get Duke losing to a team that hadn't won a conference game.
Duke didn't play a lick of defense at all. I mean, they were just going through the
Duke's
motions.
another team that has problems at the free throw line.
Big time. Yeah. I don't see them cutting down the nets and singing One Shining Moment, Jack.
Well, what about a team of the week, Tom? Who do you have?
Yeah, my team of the week's a little non-conventional. I'm going with a team of students at Michigan State University and what they've done in the past week. It's been amazing to me. You talk about unified, talk about the adult in the room. It's the students, not the adults, so to speak, with the Board of Trustees.
And the rowing team actually had a plan of action.
They had, absolutely. And they were out there. They had a rally on Friday night. It was 8 degrees out there. They had hundreds of kids out there. It's all organized. Their meeting, their town hall meeting Thursday night talked about that.
Your team of the week isn't the Board of Trustees?
No, it's not. They're the un-team of the week. But the student body, the student body at Michigan State is really impressing the hell out of me lately, I'll tell you.
I have to give a quick shout out to another Michigan State team. And I won't talk Michigan State hockey much. But this is Saturday night. They go into Columbus, somehow get a 6-3 win over the 5th-ranked Buckeyes. That is win number 10 on the year in Danton Cole's first season. So maybe sowing the seeds of something.
Baby steps, right?
Baby steps, yeah. Yep. For our player of the week, guys, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Ronglu. Red Panda, what a tremendous performance.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there you see her, and that's with the backup unicycle.
You like her PR agent?
They stole her bike in San Francisco. She came out there and captivated the crowd. and she's working with Brian Lewerke. Brian Lewerke's helping her after she's got all these plates, and fantastic. But Ron Lou is not our player of the week. Our player of the week is another Spartan, and that is Matt McQuaid. And they don't beat Penn State without Cueto. He hits those 2 threes, 1 on the pump and then the sidestep, 4 for 4 from deep in Assembly Hall, and playing terrific defense. Matt McQuaid, you're our player of the week. I want to thank Team 228, Tom Crawford. You can listen to us, The Drive with Jack and Tom, Darian Harris. Darian, always great to have you here, and Doug Warren, producer of The Drive. See you next week.